Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Eco TV listeners and viewers. This is Larry Cisse. We are back on our usual Thursday program. Today I am with Lamin Mani. Lamino is on another assignment outside of the studio. Lamin.
Thank you very much, Larry, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to our viewers out there, Eco TV viewers, wherever you are watching us from. We are glad to be back with you to discuss the issues around the Gambia we want. Thank you very much, and looking forward to another lively discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Lamin and the viewers, today we have three topics. The first topic is the price of groundnuts for the 2025-2026 groundnut trading season. The second issue is the 2026 budget as presented by the Minister of Finance. We're going to try to dissect it a little bit within the time limit that we have. And the third one is the UDP's nationwide tour, the party leaders' nationwide tour. This morning I was on coffee time, and we got to discuss at least all three items. The first item there was this, we talked about the budget generally, but we ended up highlighting the price for groundnuts that the government has announced. Your viewers will recall that about a month ago, the government announced the market price for groundnuts in the Gambia. They have allocated $2 billion for the season to be for 50,000 metric tons of groundnuts to be sold, to be bought. I find that interesting because normally you just buy everything that comes through the SECO, but $2 billion and 50,000 metric tons is just half of what Jawara used to buy from the farmers. Yeah, so we are a bit surprised by that, but at the same time, what is even more surprising is the price they are paying for a ton of groundnuts. They are paying $38,000 per ton of groundnuts. I did some research. As I said in our previous program last week and the week before, the global price for groundnuts, the floor is $500 per ton. And the ceiling is $1,200 per ton. The median price there ought to be around $50, $60, $70 per ton. Now, yeah, $700 per ton. What is interesting is the floor price of $33,000 is just, the government just added $3,000 to that to give farmers a price of $38,000. So the floor price is $33,000 per ton. The government is buying it for 38,000 metric tons. That begs the question: on what basis do you value the groundnut that way, given what obtains on the global market for groundnuts? I'm told they say the reason why the price is so low is because Gambian groundnuts it's got a lot of aflatoxin in it, and my issue to coffee time this morning was, for 60 years we've been talking about aflatoxin in Gambian groundnuts. But we know there are groundnut varieties out there, seed varieties that do not have aflatoxin. And one of those varieties is the late American president's farm in Georgia, Jimmy Carter. He grows groundnuts that have no aflatoxin in them. And most of the global market also, the groundnuts that are sold there do not have aflatoxin because they've changed from seeds that actually grow groundnuts with aflatoxin to seeds that grow groundnuts without aflatoxin. So the price, that excuse for me does not stand. Now, if you want to price the groundnuts appropriately, like we say, it ought to be around $700 US. That is the median price. And that is somewhere around $65,000 is per metric ton. Yeah, 65,000. So the difference between 38,000 and 65,000 is what this government needs to explain to our farmers. But what is also very striking is that the groundnut trading season was announced some 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago. But some of the employees to the sectors have not been deployed until last week. I think I saw some group of people going to some of these sectors, and they're just being deployed. During the tour also, there were instances where people were complaining that there is no money in the sectors.
In the sectors, yeah.
For me, that is surprising because you budgeted $2 billion. Parliament has passed the budget, and yet the season has started, and people are saying, no, I'm not accepting a pink slip this year. I will decorticate my groundnuts and go and sell it at the Lumos, and that's what most people are doing.
Yeah.
We were in Mount Fana last few days, and every compound you go to, they sit in groups decorticating their nuts. And I went ahead of the team. I was there around 10 in the morning, and I went literally into compounds to just say hello to people because I grew up in that area.
Those neighborhoods, yeah.
And everywhere you go, they were just decorticating ground.
Yeah.
And when you engage them, they say, no, the government's price is not good enough. So rather than, and they are not allowing us to sell to independent buyers, and they are not allowing us to go to Senegal, so we'll decorticate them and take them to the Lumo. It fetches a better price there than what the government is offering.
Yeah.
So let's let people realize that the price range ought to be from $33,000 per ton to $85,000 per ton. The median price there ought to be around what, $700 US?
Yeah.
And when you convert $700 US in today's exchange rate, it will be around 45 to 50,000 dollars. So I don't know what other information you can get. You were with the party leader going around the country. Let's hear what the farmers are complaining about.
Yeah, the farmers were very eloquent about it and very direct. They can't understand how for 3 years running they are offered the same price for the sale of their groundnuts.
Yep.
They're telling us everything we buy on the market has appreciated. Everything that we need has appreciated. Their own salaries, we do not know much about it, but from what we hear from our local standpoint is that the salaries have appreciated. Why are our groundnut prices stagnant for 3 years?
Yeah.
These are the questions we've been hearing from people on the ground. And we tell them bluntly, it's just because the government doesn't care about you. Because when they tell you that they are buying it and selling it at a loss, that doesn't make any sense. if that were to be the case, a serious government would have started processing the groundnuts here instead of selling it at a loss.
Yeah.
We had Saro that was working. You could process it there, get groundnut oil, get groundnut cake, get the pellets and etc. But if you just are bent on just selling it and losing, as they say, which is not true, but even assuming it were true, the rational thing would be to start over again, do something different, so you don't lose money. So, as you said, they are selling to the outside world certainly much higher than what they are offering the local producer.
Yeah.
So who pockets the difference? The Gambia Groundnut Council, or whatever its new name is.
Yeah.
And this is now a private entity. Before, if that were pocketed by government, could go into the budget and do other things.
Yeah.
But now they are giving that out to a private entity, which is making a killing out of the labor and the toil of the local farmer.
Yeah.
It's absolutely unconscionable. Now, they are telling us, a lot of them, maybe we should start thinking of other crops to grow. And that's absolutely right. As you said, if they cannot sell the whole groundnuts abroad over the border, and they cannot get more than 38,000 for it, they will find other ways of doing it. And that includes, as you said, decorticating groundnuts and selling it on the Lumo. People will make peanut butter from it and anything else. They just turn it into table groundnuts, etc. But people are going to sell elsewhere.
Yeah.
Because the government doesn't want to do anything for them.
Yeah.
It boils down to the government of the Garou administration not caring about anybody apart from themselves. Because there's absolutely no justification why you pay 3 years consecutively the same price when you all know that the world market prices are different.
Yeah.
Why are you doing this to our local producers?
And you keep telling people our price is among the best in the West Africa.
Yeah, which is not true. Yeah. But even if it were true, if it doesn't cover the cost of the farmers, what is the point?
Yeah.
All right? We have today everywhere you're talking of free trade and honest, reliable trade, which is called actually in the jargon fair trade. Yeah. They want to give the farmers a fair amount for their labor, for their produce, and so you don't buy it for them at a low price because you can do so. You buy it at a price that gives them a chance of survival. A decent price. So basically, these are the issues on the market. But the government, simply put in a nutshell, does not care about the Gambians. It's just ripping off the Gambian farmer, enriching itself, and that doesn't go into the state coffers because it goes into private coffers. Yeah. There we go.
It's a monopoly also.
Yeah.
This government likes to create monopolies.
Yeah, and as you said, they're offering to buy 50,000 tons of groundnuts. Under the Jawara regime, we are getting every year anywhere from 140 to 150, 160,000 tons of groundnuts. Why is that divided by 3 now? Yeah. Simply because the government does not care, does not do anything to help the farmers, and the farmers are just going elsewhere. Before you had seed stores, at the end of the harvest, farmers were encouraged to store their seed for the following year. Yeah. So they were brought in there, they were treated with insecticides, they were stored, and they wouldn't get them until the beginning of the season. So at least they have crops to grow, seeds to grow for the next year. Yeah. Today, that doesn't exist. If a farmer has 2 bags of peanuts in his house for his seed next year, given the economic hardship, he probably will sell part of it. Yeah. So the production falls. Whichever way you look at it, this government is destroying this own country and impoverishing it. And that's what I kept saying. Gambia is not poor, it's impoverished by the Barrow administration.
They create monopolies. They created a monopoly on cement also.
Exactly.
But one of the things that the tour has unveiled in terms of the comments that you hear people make is that, this group of people, they've been increasing their salaries since they came to power, their salaries and benefits since they came to power. The prices they pay for our nuts stay stagnant in one place for 3 years.
3 years running.
Some of them, especially the youths, are saying it looks like when you check the budget, as they heard the minister talk about it, some of them will actually tell you, to my understanding, the executive is taking care of itself.
Yeah.
The legislature is taking care of itself, and the judiciary is also being taken care of, because these are the three branches of government that tend to get salary increases. Some of them commented that civil servants also get salary increases, but they pale in the face of the increases that the three branches of government tend to make. For me, the salaries of civil servants is just tokenism. We increase the salaries for civil servants, but the increase cannot actually neatly take care of some civil servants in terms of paying rent, buying food, paying for the very expensive electricity from NAWEC, transportation, school fees, lunches for kids. So this is actually a breeding ground for corruption, because when your family needs these things and you are sitting over an envelope of resources that you're supposed to manage, and you cannot make your ends meet, it's not an excuse, but it's a good incentive for people to actually take what does not belong to them.
Absolutely. Absolutely, because they've got to survive, particularly when they see the government officials doing that.
Yeah.
Who are they to just sit back at home and see people ripping them off all the time, without any consequence? They will say, well, maybe we should do the same thing. And that is what's happening. The corruption is festering all over the country. Not just in government anymore, but everywhere.
Everywhere. Because
people see that as impunity, you can do anything and get away with it.
Even in the markets, the prices, for the same commodity, you can have 3-4 different price structures.
Absolutely.
In the same market.
So. And they would turn around and say, oh, well, it's expensive, but even the local producers, their prices have gone up. Of course, their prices will go up.
Yeah.
Because the money they get from the sale of their local produce is what they use to buy imported materials.
Yeah.
They have to buy rice from that, they buy oil from that, they buy electricity from that. They say, anything they do, they buy it from that, those resources.
From those resources.
So if the prices go up, they have no choice but to increase the price of their commodities. Except in the case of groundnuts, government said, no, I'm paying you this, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to take that. Yeah. That doesn't make sense.
What would make a lot of sense is to open up the markets for these commodities.
Yeah.
Let there be independent operators, independent buyers and sellers of groundnuts. At least in Jawara's time, that's what obtained.
That's what obtained. Adequate resources were put at their disposal.
Adequate resources. In fact, Jawara would announce the price of groundnuts that government is going to buy the groundnuts for. They announce it 3 months in advance.
Exactly.
And they position resources to take care of it. Under the current scheme of things, that's a luxury. Like I said, they announced the opening of the trading season, and as of last week, we saw people being deployed to go to the different circles.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, we do not know. But that's
even for the circles, they've reduced the number of circles.
Yes.
Considerably.
Considerably
so
reduced.
People will not be able to sell, in their normal communities. They have to travel long distances to sell, which is an additional cost, which is another reduction of the 38,000 they're getting per ton.
And I saw an advert, they were bragging about digitizing the payment system. For me, I cannot understand that. What we used to obtain when we were growing up, people will actually bring new money, fresh notes, smelling notes. It's a sign to say, I have sold my groundnuts. I'm not Halis Bues, because you have sold your thing. Now that is not happening. And like I said, they were complaining, a lot of people were complaining during this tour that the ones that sold their nuts have not yet gotten all of their money.
Yeah, and it's important you raise that, because we got it from a number of places. Some people who sold their groundnuts last year, last cropping season, are yet to be paid. How do you expect those people to trust you enough to bring their groundnuts this year to sell it to you? If what they sold yesterday, you give them promissory notes for that, and you still haven't redeemed those notes, and they have a new season coming up, new sales season. Why would they want to bring you the groundnuts again if you cannot pay them for last year's produce?
Yeah.
You know, that's the insensitivity we're talking about in this government. How can you do that?
But
Yet, this is the government that will spend large amounts of money on all sorts of things.
Yeah. All sorts of things, but things that really
that matter for the ordinary Gambia.
We say the incompetence. The way the groundnuts are priced, structured, and paid for shows a serious level of indifference also.
Yeah.
And of course there is corruption there. Corruption that you cannot control because you created a monopoly for who gets to buy and sell groundnuts. Yeah. Just the same way that a monopoly was created for the cement industry. So these are policy failures. Yeah. It's not a failure of the economy. It's a policy failure. The policy choices that we make determines whether or not services are provided at levels that are sustainable and affordable. Yeah.
And same thing for like the cement industry. When they did that, the monopoly was given to one person and the cement importers are suffering. Yeah. The Gambians are suffering. And we did point it out several times before. Yeah. You do this, prices are going to escalate. You cannot give a monopoly to somebody, a businessman, and expect them to be honest. The only way to keep them honest is ensure there's competition. You do that and then the prices will come down naturally. But if you have a small group of people there who are the only ones selling, at one point there will be collusion between them. And they'll be selling at very high prices, and that's what's happening today. A bag of cement, $650 is in this country.
In this country.
When we can import from Senegal. Yeah. And what did they do today? They put out a waiver on excise duty.
Yeah, and that's a cabinet decision.
Yeah.
Instead of letting the market determine the price.
Exactly. They will tell you the market forces, regulate the market. Why did they do this? Why didn't they let the market regulate itself? Yeah. And what they could have done and should have done is to authorize again the people who were in cement importation to resume their business. Yeah. Because they killed those people's businesses. Yeah. And now they're telling, if you are a big consumer in a project or whatever, you can import and we'll waive the duty, excise duty. Why don't you give it to the people who were there before? Let them do the same thing.
I actually quipped when I had cabinet took a decision to provide a waiver. Yeah. Did cabinet take a decision to impose those waivers? Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, I think we've exhausted that for now. The next issue is the national budget. Again. On coffee time this morning, I just did a synopsis of the budget. Yeah. Because the budget document it's humongous. It is huge. You need to allocate a whole lot of time to dissect it. Yeah. Fortunately, I had the time. I did it, and I came up with a summary of the budget. The summary of the budget is an eye-opener. For starters, the 2026 budget is around 59 billion Gambian dollars. Billion. Yeah. The budget deficit is 2.07 billion. And they are saying, that is a reduction in the level of the deficit. Yeah. But then when you compare that to the 13 billion that we are paying to service our debt, you realize that we are just playing with figures. With figures, yeah. The structure of the budget, as we've been saying in the last 8 years, it's the budget is structured on loans, on taxes, and on grants. Yeah. And by inference, the economy is also structured around those same three. We take loans, we tax consumers, Gambians, and we beg for grants in order to make our ends meet. So that's the structure of the budget. Let me just dissect these two,
Okay.
and then we go into the discussion.
Okay.
The recurrent expenditure for the budget, excluding debt service, recurrent expenditure is 25.73 billion, or 43.35% of the budget. So nearly half of the budget goes to recurrent cost expenditures. The development expenditure is 20.17 billion, or 33.98 of the budget. Debt service, as I said, consists of 22.6% of the budget. In Dalasi terms, that's $13.46 billion. Let's talk about this, and then juxtapose that to the debt portfolio, the debt profile of the country.
You know, even the development budget at 20-something, when you look at it from the GLF point of view, and that's where I think we should look at it from, From the GLF point of view, the development budget is much less than 20%.
20%, yes.
It's in fact about 9.8%
of total expenditure.
Total expenditure. When if you look at the GLF component, they put it at 20-something because they're counting on loans, grants to come in and to boost the expenditure component regarding investment. But again, when you compare that to the policies of the government, you don't see any policy for investment, for capital expenditure. So even if they allocate 20% or 22%, whatever they're claiming, for capital expenditure, there is no policy in place for capital expenditure so that that amount can be absorbed. So if you were to go tomorrow to look for money elsewhere, they say, sorry, you don't have an absorptive capacity. We have granted you so much, in terms of budget support, you put so much aside, but you don't even have where to, there's nothing to show in terms of capital expenditure to absorb that amount. So that's a non-starter for the first point. But again, when you look at the deficit of the country, which they are playing around with, it's way more than the 2.4 they're talking about.
These are numbers that they cooked.
They cooked these numbers. And compare that now to the budget deficit. Sorry, the budget, the loan payments,
The mandatory loan payments per annum.
Yes, which is 13 billion for next year. And this 13 billion does not include potentially what we might have to pay extra for the contingent liabilities that they're putting on us. And they're going around, when you talk about contingent liabilities, we'll tell them, the $75 million currency swap. Oh, no, we want to pay the currency swap in dollars. It's not true. No. It's not true.
It's actually a loan.
It's a loan. And that capital, the 75 million, the capital is going to be refunded in dollars.
Probably
the
at
coupon
a higher
payments,
percentage.
The coupon payments and the interest probably might be in dollars. But we cannot be sure about it because they're still holding that document close to their chest. I believe from what my Afrexim Bank friends have told me, is that only Afrexim Bank can publish that document. The Gambia government is not even entitled to publish that document.
They have
can you imagine?
Non-disclosure.
An NDA on that. For a document that we are supposed to be paying for, you cannot even have the decency to be able to publish it for us. But again, that's another debate for another day. But in the meantime, we have that 13 billion debt portfolio and debt payment for 2026. We have the contingent liabilities, which will probably kick in. We have all the maturities that are starting next year. All the amounts of which have been frozen. We had a moratorium given because of COVID-19. Most of those loans are going to be due for payment starting next year. And when I looked at the budget, I looked at those and I compared to what they have not been taken into account. So these are additional costs we're going to have, and they will operate via MENS, and the rest will be able to pay for that. So by the end of the year, they will not show us the actuals, but the actual expenditure for loans, for the servicing of loans, will be way beyond the 13 billion they're talking about.
It is way beyond that.
And another part I want to come to, when you look at this budget, this budget is designed for campaigning next year. Agricultural sector was getting systematically less than $1 billion from the GLF. For next year, they've allocated 1.7 billion, virtually doubling it from the GLF point of view.
It's all politics.
That money is going to go towards, next year they will try to subsidize fertilizers, they will try to buy seeds, etc. They will try to buy a few things here and there to distribute it for, say, you see, we're doing great, you know, we give offering. Yet you had 9 years to do that. You didn't do it. And just before elections, all of a sudden you inflate the agriculture budget because you think you can fool the rural populations with that. They know who is taking care of them. They know what they are up to. They know what this government is planning, again, to steal the elections, as you would say, or buy it. And neither will happen. Neither will happen because the people are aware of what this government is up to. We'll get to that point when we get to the countrywide talk. But this budget, a budget is supposed to show the whole world, including the Gambia and our partners, that this government is serious with these priorities. And it's not.
It's funny when Peter asked me today about whether there is good and bad in the budget. Yes, there is good and bad. What is good is that they are showing us the things they are hiding. For me, that's an important aspect of the way this government functions. They will not tell you the actual loans that they have contracted. They will not tell you the actual amount of money they received for grants. And if they tell you the amount of taxes that have been collected, it's because you are hearing GRA getting an award for taxing us.
Exactly. And I listened to you on Coffee Time this morning, and I like what you were saying there, because this government is priding itself on taxing us into poverty.
Poverty, yes.
We are being taxed for everything, as you mentioned. Even the water we drink is taxed in this country. When the government cannot even provide water. So water is not a luxury. The water you buy from the supermarket is not a luxury.
It's not.
But even that is taxed. And I believe that, as you said too, you know, we're in agreement there again. If the GRA were to do its job properly, we will not be collecting 23 billion or 25 billion, as they're saying. We'll be collecting in the region of 40 to 45 billion dollars in this country. Why is GRA refusing to be audited? We might find out things that they don't want us to see. Just like Barrow didn't want the audits to come out because he didn't want us to see what was going wrong in an election year or pre-election year. So whichever way you look at this budget and what is coming into it, is a farce and it's a scam. Next year, the elections are going to be crucial for the survival of this country. They are. Crucial for the survival of this country. And this government is preparing itself to steal it. And we keep telling them, you cannot steal these elections. You cannot buy them. Why don't you do the right thing? Instead of putting all that money into trying to induce, why don't you put it into the agricultural sector? Put the 1.7 billion into the agricultural sector, really. But we'll see. We'll follow it and we will denounce it as we go along.
Yes. And you know, the interesting thing about this budget, in the minister's statement, he said the theme of the budget is to improve the well-being and welfare of Gambians.
And that's an insult. Because this government smuggled salary increases into this budget. And when they did, what did they do? They went to Parliament and said, oh, you know, here's a certificate of urgency. You adopt this budget as it is, no discussion. Again, for 2 years. Why?
And this is the second year running that the budget is passed
without debate.
And the National Assembly members should be held accountable for that.
Absolutely.
One of the things that struck me about this budget is how neatly they package the numbers. This is really crafty in the sense of craftiness. The way they package the numbers, you can't but say, oh, but the actuals is where the real story lies. And the fact that the president can boldly announce that he has $84 million for chiefs, alkalolu, and imams speaks volumes. It's actually an incentive to buy them for the coming elections.
Yeah.
And my view is the IEC needs to actually call them to order, because that is giving a certain group of interest group people money so they can do your bidding. Already alkalolus have been threatened. The local government minister, we said it here two programs ago, literally threatened the alkalolu and SEFOs. You don't support us, we're going to remove you. And the SEFOs have begun to act on that. We saw it in their meeting in Bondali, where allegedly 3 chiefs, SEFO, alkalolu, they took their alkalo stamps from them. I understand eventually, I think 1 or 2 of them were returned. But the mere fact that it happened sends a reverberating message into the system, and the system basically says, if you're not with us, we're going to
ostracize you.
And
in fact, during this tour, we learned that some of the chiefs, some of the alcalos refused to give those stamps. They're telling them, we paid for these stamps.
Yes.
You didn't give us money to buy for this. We paid for them over $2,000. So we're not giving them back to you. And what authority do they have to do that? They don't. And you see, whilst we're working on all of that, this is the government that is trying to conceal its illegality and illegitimate expenditure. We have been calling out the President's office, for years now, that the expenditure, in relation to that office is far too high for a poor country like this, when you get more money for the President's office than for the Ministry of Agriculture entirely. What did they do this year? They broke it up between the President and the Vice President.
And the Vice President.
So they think they can hide it. They say, oh, you see, this year we're giving less to the President.
It's all still the presidency.
Exactly, exactly. So by doing that, they say, oh, no, we're giving less to the President's office now. You're giving more. You just broke it down between the President and the Vice President. And the Gambians will see that too, because we'll tell them, go look at the two, compared to last year. Last year it was only presidency. This is presidency and vice presidency.
And also, when you look at the budgets of some ministries, their personnel emoluments have doubled.
Significantly gone up to in some cases, 1 or 2 cases, up to 100%. Okay.
So the refrain we've been hearing on this tour is that they're taking care of themselves. They are not taking care of us.
No.
And when farmers start thinking like that, only God knows what they're going to do when they go to the voting booth.
Exactly. And interestingly, along those lines, when you look at the breakdown of the budget, the ministries where you have the largest salary increases smuggled in, Ministry of Interior, Ministry of Defense, and to a certain extent Ministry of Justice.
And that's why they don't want to discuss them.
And then Parliament. This is where they've smuggled in the biggest increases. Is that symptomatic? Should we be worried that the government is giving such large increases to the ministries in charge of our security? Unannounced?
It's a cause for concern.
Unannounced? Should we be worried? But what we're telling them is that this country insecurity will not be entertained by any other Gambians, because we are tired of that. We are tired of it. The government will have to obey the rules like every Gambian. They cannot just be allowed to run amok. The law is here for everybody. And if they are smart, they will learn from when they try to harass Bori Toure. That should teach them a lesson, that the Gambians are fed up with that, and we will not stomach it anymore. And the army and the security forces don't play along with these people. Because what they are doing is trying to buy you. Stay patriotic. Stay on the side of the Gambians. Because the salary increase that they are smuggling in, is that a way of inducing you to repress Gambians? I hope not. Because the Gambians will not fall for it, will not accept it, will not stomach it. So stay on the side of the law, like it happened in Senegal. The army stayed Republican and professional. We expect our security forces to do the same thing here. Because anyway, at any rate, the bulk of our security officials are very good, decent Gambians.
Yeah.
And they will not stand for that. So we hope that there is nothing to read in this. We hope that it's just a way of buying some people at the top and that there is nothing Machiavellic going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, but it's
because what we see happen in the region makes it a cause for concern. When we saw Mbalo do that in Guinea-Bissau,
yeah,
we are on the lookout.
Yeah.
We are on the lookout and will continue to be on the lookout. As they say in Wolof, kundo bin rey sandey, bogi si lu jul nga ragal. Kankura mo bafa ni fe wala tu wala kasilale.
Yeah, these guys, 84 million for Sefolu, chiefs, alkalolu, imams. It's all an incentive structure.
Yeah.
And you begin to see them distribute milling machines also.
Yes.
In certain communities, as well as football jerseys and cooking pots.
Cooking pots. Yeah.
So basically, what they are telling average Gambians is, give me your vote for these items, and for the next 5 years, I increase my standard of living, while you get stagnant where you are.
You know, and it all shows the cluelessness of this government and the lack of seriousness. The amount of money spent inducing, if you invest that in reasonable development, people will see the impact of that. And they'll be much more amenable to your policies than trying to buy them.
Yeah.
Simple.
Your policies should be the vote getter, not the other way around. I think we can stop there. We'll discuss the issue of the loan portfolio under the nationwide toll, because it was one of the core issues in terms of poor quality education facilities, poor quality health facilities, poor quality agriculture, and poor quality infrastructure by way of other feeder roads. I know in Mount Fana it was a big issue.
Okay.
They raised it and we responded. There are no roads there. In fact, it's all of Nyamina.
Yeah, it's all across the country.
There are no roads there. We are bragging, we put X number of amount of money in infrastructure, but where the infrastructure ought to be does not happen.
We had it in Balangar,
yes,
same thing.
Yes.
Very brilliant young lady who discussed that.
Kudang, for example, there are 4 trunk roads that would have opened up the economy in all of Nyamina East, and linking it to Nyamina West by opening up from Choya, going to Dankunku into Jisadi Tenda. Those roads would have opened up the economies. Now the other ones is from Kaulon to Sinchualaji, Kaulon to Kudang, Kaulon to Bati, Mount Fana into Gambakolo.
If I can just interrupt, you see that picture, what's showing on the picture there?
Yeah.
This was a very beautiful chair, armchair, done and given to the president in Nyakoi by an association of young Gambian carpenters. Yeah. Even those people are coming together and throwing their weight behind the party. This was done and transported all the way to Nyakoi and presented to the party leader.
I saw it in Mount Fana also.
Okay.
We thought it was going to come down. We were saying, no, this is a gift to the thing. But it speaks volumes. People are galvanized about what is happening in the country. Yeah. And these 3-4 big issues, education, health, agriculture, water, everywhere, and infrastructure, these feeder roads, secondary roads. I was going to say the feeder road, the secondary road between Kudang and Kuntao, they started constructing that road in 2016.
Okay.
Jame started it.
Okay.
When he left power, it stopped. The contractor absconded with the money, never finished the job. Barrow government comes in. They hired another contractor for the same stretch of road. It's about 18 kilometers. But it opens up the economic space in that area in ways that are unbelievable. That contractor also started the job, absconded. That contractor does not even have equipment. He hires these bulldozers on a daily basis, and he uses drums to buy water and fuel for the equipment. That too also absconded. They ended up giving it to an individual whose brother they put up as the candidate for the Janjambure Area Council. Mr. Sawane is related to the second contractor. And that contractor also absconded after he got paid.
And that's the litany of woes we hear. You remember when they were doing these roads, OIC roads?
Yes.
Secondary roads. There was a road section from Brufut to Willinkama. Pavi Ford was the one paid to do that job apparently, and it didn't happen. And part of the section of that road was given to the cook at State House, a certain party, to do part of that road. You know, where are we going in this country? You give a road construction contract to the president's cook without proper tendering. And the people who were denied that contract came to us and gave us documentation, gave us evidence that they were even supposed to implement that, and taken from them and given to the president's cook. So other people absconding it with it is nothing new. We've seen that so many times in this country.
For us in that area, these the 3 contracts, all paid for. What bothers me about all of this is they pay the actual contract amount one time. The guy absconds.
So who gains from that?
Who gains from that?
That's a question we should be investigating.
And then, of course, those other secondary roads would have opened up the agriculture and commercial sectors in Nyam. Nyamina people, Nyamina East people, we have people who are so enterprising. It's not funny. All they need is to have this infrastructure in place, and they'll make a living out of it. So education, health, agriculture, water, infrastructure, and the large amount of loans.
Yes, and if I can just quickly on the infrastructure there, because like the Hakalang Road was same thing. 8 years to build that small stretch of road. Because infrastructure is the area where we will do the most audits when we come in as UDP. Because that is where the pilfering of our resources is happening. So we will audit the infrastructure development sector, particularly road development.
Your friend is listening to you, Mr. Infrastructure.
He better listen. He better listen, and he better do the right thing, because people have to account for these things. We cannot sit back and get impunity take root in this country again. We cannot.
In fact, for me, I'm hearing two conflicting things about Hakalang. The length of the road in terms of kilometers and the amount of money that was spent on it. Well, anyway, like you said, these are
overpricing.
These are matters of a nature that will have to be accountability will have to set in. Now on the debt, and then we go to the party leaders' nationwide tour. You know, I mean, last week in the Thursday program, I said I looked into our national debt historically. And you know what I did? I went to ChatGPT and I said, national debt profile, Republic of the Gambia. And this thing just puked out. Data from 1963. I gave a cut of the 1963 to 2025. And it just puked out data on the historic debt profile, Jawara's time, Yahya Jammeh's time, and Barrow's time. And one of the documents it referred me to, I have to quote this thing because I looked everywhere in the Ministry of Finance. I couldn't find this thing, but artificial intelligence gave it to me. You know the name of the document? It's called the Total Public and Publicly Guaranteed Debts, PPG debts. And the second document is the Media Macro Fiscal Review publication, which was published until August 2024. So the loan figures there do not cover September 2024 to December 2025.
Yeah.
Now, what is the loan portfolio? We've been vindicated many times.
Yeah.
The government kept saying it's 110.7 billion, which is $1.74 billion in 2023.
Of late, they have managed to say 129 billion.
Yes, the 129 comes from these two documents.
Yeah.
The 129.5 billion comes from these two documents. But what these two documents don't tell you is that they are underreporting the loans from August 2024 to December 2025.
Yes.
So about a year and a half of loans. But then you realize in 2024 alone, they've contracted something like 18.8 billion. Just for that 2024. 18.8 billion has been contracted. So the underreporting is there.
Yeah.
Even this 129 billion, the actual could be very well around 150.
And that's what we've been saying for the past 2 months.
Yeah.
You know?
It's around that.
Yeah. And that is and that again, for the Gambians to put it in context, that again excludes the contingent liabilities.
Contingent liabilities, yes.
It excludes the hidden debt. So again, once we get to government and we do an audit of these issues, we're going to find really dirty things in what these people have been doing.
But I kept saying Barrow's corruption will make Yahya Jammeh's corruption look like child's play.
Yeah, yeah.
I kept saying that.
And
I've been saying it.
Per capita, what we're going to find
is
going to be worse than what they have in Senegal.
Just look at 1 year, 18.8 billion, and it's not reported.
Yeah. And that's different from the hidden debt.
That's from the hidden debt, yeah.
It's different from the contingent liabilities that they're creating all around.
But anyway, this is what the issues have. These are the issues that have been raised during the party leaders' nationwide tour. Education, health, agriculture, water, electricity, and infrastructure. Yeah. It's all over the country. Everybody that talks, man, woman, and child, those are the issues that they care about. Those are the issues that they want their government to tackle for them.
Exactly.
So the nationwide tour, when you look at the 84 million that Barrow says he gave to the chiefs, the Alkalolu and the imams, you realize that these guys are actually using that as an incentive. But behind it, they are using this fear and intimidation tactic on people.
And the carrot and cake, carrot and stick, approach.
So let's give a synopsis of the tour.
Yeah, very interesting. The tour we started in Bara and SL on Thursday last week, and the reception in Bara was so huge that we got to the meeting ground in SL about an hour late, because the people were all there from the ferry terminal all the way to the Bara meeting grounds. They wouldn't allow us to go and drive normally to get there. Yeah. So it was going at a snail's pace. Yeah, I think you can see the pictures
that's the reception.
We got at a snail's pace all the way to the meeting ground in SL. And when we held the meeting there, the enthusiasm of the people of Nyomi. Lord, we have seen what this government has promised and how it failed to deliver.
On the promises.
Yes. We have seen how this country is being run. We're witnessing the corruption every day. We're witnessing the hardship they have in terms of water supply, instead of ambulances for the clinics and medical facilities, in terms of the availability or lack of it, of medication in the hospitals, or medical centers, I should say, the lack of professional in those medical facilities. They talked about that. They talked about the poor road infrastructure. And even what is developed, they say, now we see what you're saying, these roads are certainly overvalued and overpriced.
They are.
they told us about the back wave phenomenon. How the kids in Nyomi are taking more and more to the back way, and they are losing hundreds of their sons and daughters to that phenomenon. And somebody put it very clearly, say, it's happening because people have no hope. The youths have no hope. When you wake up in your home, you can't even give the most decent and basic things to your parents because you don't have a job, you don't have anything, and you don't have any hope. And that word hope kept coming all the time. That the Gambian youth are losing hope. And when there's no hope, they will do anything. They will do the crazy things. We keep telling them, don't do it, please. At this time of the year, it's winter in Europe.
It's cold.
So if you take to the seas, you're going to already encounter very tough conditions, even at sea, before you get to mainland Europe. A lot of them will die on the way from the cold, hypothermia. Tell them, don't do it, stay here. Just be patient for a year. We have 1 year to go, and we'll uproot this government and bring in something different. But please be patient. And they're telling us, it's not us. We don't want our kids to go. But they're so desperate, so, they'll just do anything. So we had that in Nyomi. We had it in Kerewan, which is our next stop.
It's all over the country.
Exactly.
It's all over the country.
We went from Kerewan, we went to Kunting the following day, the same thing. Kunting to Nyakoi, we got the same thing. Basse,
the
same thing. Bansang,
the same thing. Mount
Fana, where unfortunately I could not be because I had to attend landing Sanes and book launch.
But it's part of the repertoire of issues of concern to them. People, parents are concerned that their kids are dying in these large numbers, taking the back way.
And what we saw was the enthusiasm of the people.
Especially
large
the
numbers coming out.
Ones.
Yes, the young ones and the women. And areas where we didn't have that much support, now people are coming out in droves, and they are being so vocal about their support. One of us stops on the second day, the first stop in Balangar, which is my region, Lower Salum. Because Balangar and Kauru are like twin cities.
Was very epic, very surprising too.
The turnout in Balangar between the youth and the women. And we had this young lady, so eloquent. We couldn't have put it better than her. We couldn't have put it better than her. She came out, she was so eloquent. I would have given her name easily, but I don't want anybody going after her, targeting her, whatever. But a very eloquent young lady. She came out, and I'm sure she wouldn't mind, but I don't want to put her on the spotlight. In the spotlight.
It's okay. Don't call her name out.
But a very eloquent young lady, she came out and she put it all out there for all to see. She said, we wanted water here. Barrow promised us water, a borehole. He didn't deliver. Out of desperation, we went to Mr. Dabo and asked him if he could help us to get a borehole. He said, Mr. Dabo personally financed a borehole for them. She said, now we have water all over the town. Say, but what is our problem? Our problem is now, we have water, but you still have to go and fetch that water, carry in a bucket across town to go to different places. So they've opened different areas where they can fetch water, but still you have to carry it to your house, etc. And she said, in this day and age, do we really need that? Can't we have the water, pipe-borne water in our houses? Can this government provide us that? And I said, now you're talking. People are looking at issues the way they should be looked at. Because with that...
You cannot add anything to that. Because another young woman said the same thing in Mamfan.
Yes.
Water is a serious problem there.
And this is a human right.
She also eloquently pointed out their trials and tribulations every day in fetching water, and how consistently they've been failed by the promises that were. That's what prompted me to say, with us, everything that is due you will get. We are not going to mince our words about that, but we'll make sure everything that is due to you in terms of your well-being is done. Health, education, agriculture, water, infrastructure. It's your right. You are a taxpayer.
Absolutely. And that young lady in Balangar was quite right. In this day and age, we shouldn't have to worry about fetching water with a bucket to take place. Look, if the Gambia is a long, narrow strip of land, if we put, we shouldn't be boasting about sinking boreholes anymore in this country.
I know.
That should be a thing of the past. The boreholes maybe in the gardens, etc., on in certain places. Yeah, maybe. And if we put two main pipes along the length of the country,
either side of the country,
on either bank of the River Gambia, we can supply the whole country
with water.
And we have fresh water in every location in this country.
Yeah, it
can be done. We can sink those major boreholes which will be supplying those,
that
those main pipes.
System.
Exactly. And the water will be available in different communities right across the country from Katon to Koina. In fact, Senegal is doing something similar these days.
Yes, they are.
They call it the water highways.
They are.
And that water highway is not just for household consumption, but also for agriculture.
Agriculture, irrigation and all.
And we have more fresh water than Senegal. We have a smaller piece of land to irrigate than them. So it shouldn't be that difficult for us to do with the right policies, with the right government, with the right leadership. And UDP will work towards that. Having these two main pipes run along the country from point to point, from one tip to the other, so that we supply
electricity
water.
And water. The country is too small
for that
to not have adequate, cheap electricity
with water. When you go to Tunisia, which was a dry desert country,
half of it is semi-arid.
Exactly. In Tunisia, in places like Kairouan, we went to Kairouan. It's one of the main religious centers. They took, they kept it as a kind of a relic, a museum piece. To fetch water, they still do it to show people how difficult it was. A horse is tied to a rope and a pail, and the horse has to be driven away tens of meters
and it's drawing water
whilst it brings up the water. That's how dry Tunisia was. Today, water is available everywhere in Tunisia, even in have a lot of hills. Even up the hills, the water is available. Electricity is available. And Tunisia is turned into a green country, from a desert country to green.
Planting millions of trees.
Exactly. They don't import any fruits, vegetables, or whatever. They grow their food instead of being an arid desert country. Because Bourguiba put 52% of the budget systematically for over a decade in education, health and agriculture. 52%. Why can't we do something similar?
We can do it too.
And the
especially when
UDP government will do that.
When we are contributors to this Africa 2063 levels for each of these sectors.
Exactly. Vision 2063 is there. We all signed it. Maputo agreement. We signed up to them.
We signed off to them, but we are not
implementing it. Because once you sign, you have to operationalize it. We're not operationalizing them.
Lamin, I think in order to do justice to these three issues, I think we will stop here. Our next program, we do it in all the local languages only.
Okay.
Because the English part, I think we've covered that today. But the next emission, we do the same three
in the local
languages. Hopefully we can get Haji to come and give us the fuller version.
Okay, very good. And you see, I was seeing something. I think that was I think that was in Batabut in Fonyi.
Kantora, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Again, a rousing welcome. And what we saw in Fonyi and what we heard the local population say was extremely reassuring. They said, you know what? Even under Yaya Jammeh, we didn't have so much in terms of water supply, instead of water development. So UDP, you have shown us what you can do when you get to power.
Through the local government.
Exactly. So there was the Brikama Area Council, where we had the meeting. It was in front of the market. In front of that market was, they set a place for us to meet. They said, look at this market. This was built by the Brikama Area Council and Yankuba Dabo. And in addition to that, they gave us $500,000 last year, and this year $1 million. And Yankuba promised us that it will give us more next year.
Yeah.
And imagine what we can get with a UDP government. I say, wonderful.
Yeah. And,
We don't even need to say it anymore. People have internalized it.
Yeah, and it's all over the country.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
UDP is in charge. They're saying the same thing in LRR.
Yeah.
They're saying the same
Exactly.
thing here.
Exactly.
And people need to watch out for what is happening, because development tends to change people's minds permanently.
Absolutely. In fact, LRR, they said to us, this region is your fixed deposit.
Yeah, I heard it.
You're going to win here hands down, and we're going to be with you all the way.
Yeah, no need to worry about
Because
LRR.
we've seen what Landing Sane has done for us in LRR. And we tell them that is the microcosm of what a UDP government will do.
Will do nationally.
When we have mayors and chairpersons doing that at the local level,
Imagine what we can
exactly.
do. At the
Because the development budget of those communities is supposed to come 40% from the local community, local area council, and 60% from government.
Yeah.
So Yankuba Dabo, for example, has promised West Coast region to give them 2 million next year.
Yeah.
You know, if people pay their taxes, etc. Because of course it's contingent on the two people paying taxes.
Yeah.
And it tells, if you give $2 million to those wards, the 28 wards, and have a UDP government, we give 60% of the development budget.
Disburse what we are supposed to disburse them under the law.
Exactly. The law requires us to provide 60% of the development budget.
Yeah.
So if Yankuba gives 40%, that is 2 million, which represents, and 40% of the development budget, 2 million, the central government will give them 3 million. So that takes it to 5 million a year per ward. And that that excludes the other developments that are being done by the area council. So imagine a ward like Butterboot, where we were. Every single year, getting a minimum of $5 million for the ward development, in addition to what the area council will do, in addition to what central government will do.
Yeah.
Butterboot, like all the other 27 constituencies of West Coast region, will be developing so fast.
Yeah. This is how you pull people out of poverty.
Exactly. And that is going to be the same thing for all the regional administrations that we run. And that is how this government is going to be lifted out of poverty all of a sudden. And this is why we're saying, hey, so in fact, somebody I think that was it Nyakoi, or I can't remember one of the places, said, look, we're not Kerewan. And then in Lower River, Nema, Kian Nema.
Yeah.
Said, you know, Mr. Dabo, we're not voting for you. We're voting for ourselves and our future.
Yes.
We've seen what your people are doing in LRR and in West Coast region. And we know that if we vote for you, you will do more than that for us. Yeah. So we're not voting for you. We are voting for ourselves and the future for our children. Yeah. You know,
that's what
I applauded that so much. Said, trade God, people are seeing the reality on the ground. They are listening. They are analyzing for themselves. They know where the problems lie.
Yeah, Lamin, so, finally, one of the issues that we had all over the tour, from Bara to Basse and from Basse until now, and I'm sure it will be heard in the rest of West
today
Coast,
in
Sukuta and KMC and
Banjul and Welingara. Yeah,
it's the issue of election integrity.
Yeah, yes.
People have complained about it quite a bit.
Quite a lot.
And they are saying, we are going to vote. What we are not sure is what the IEC is going to do with our votes. That resonated from Bara to Basse, like I said, and from Basse until yesterday in the phone.
In Mandinaba.
People are skeptical that the IEC will do the right thing.
Yeah.
People are skeptical that the IEC may disenfranchise them.
Yes.
Their right to select their own
leaders.
Yeah. And I think we need to amplify that so that the IEC can understand that around the country, there appears to be a consensus that people are yearning for free, fair, transparent elections.
Absolutely.
And if we don't give them free, fair, transparent elections, like Mama Kande said in his thing, that's how problems begin.
And whatever happens here would be the fault of the IEC.
Yeah.
Because I really agree, and I think I need to echo that. What they have been telling us, yes, we do not trust this IEC. We do not trust that they will do the right thing to have the elections done properly conducted and fairly and transparently. We do not trust this government not to keep trying to register foreign voters to be able to skew the political landscape.
The landscape, yes.
Someone telling us, but we are here, we know our region, we know who lives here, we know who doesn't live here. And we're not going to entertain people coming here to vote if they are not from this area. So I say to this government, don't start trouble in this country. Because if you are so much bent on registering people who are not entitled to vote, and you bring in them there to vote, and then there's conflict that is your making, you would have been the ones responsible for starting trouble in this country, and you will not survive it.
Yeah. All the
because any government who wants to survive political change is that you do the right thing. If you try to skew it to a point, you will not survive it electorally because people are going to vote you out of office. And they're going to do it so overwhelmingly that you will not have any chance of even thinking to come back. Your party might even be dead after that. Because NPP, once Barrow is out of government, NPP is over. These parties that get built in government, when the government is over, they die. Parties like UDP, which are built into position, they become resilient.
And have grassroots tenacity.
Exactly. APRC didn't survive the demise of Yahya Jammeh. PPP didn't survive the demise of Jawara. Even though in the case of PPP, it regrouped with GPP and NCP to form UDP. But when they wanted to come back out, it's difficult. So what we're saying to Barrow, you don't stand a chance of winning in 2026. None. But if you want to live with a lot of dignity, with your head held high, do the right thing, at least you will live as a Democrat. That is the least you can do for the country. We think you should not run because it's a question of integrity, it's a question of honoring your promises and standing by what you said. But if you do not want to honor your promises and you want to run, that's on you. It's on you. The Gambians will see that you do not honor your promises. You promised 3 years here, you promised 5 years, you signed for the ECOWAS agreement for 2 terms. Even though the Constitution allows you to run for 3 terms or more, if you decide not to honor those promises, with all that you've done to the Gambians, you will be voted out in 2026.
But at least even the issue of the Constitution allows it. The Constitution allows it because he wants the 1997 Constitution.
Yes, because he had campaigned on 2 terms, you remember? He said he was going to lock it. 2 terms.
And then the ECOWAS
agreement,
additional
protocol
on good governance.
Yeah.
The issue is not, for me, it's not a legal one. It's a moral one.
Moral and legitimate issue.
And legitimacy issue. And he should listen to people. When people say, don't go for a 3rd term, try to preserve whatever legacy you have built, and go and retire peacefully, gracefully, respectfully in Makamakunda.
And live as an elder statesman.
And live as an elder statesman.
And I like that. Go to Makamakunda because Atlantic Road, that will not be you.
That will not be there.
So, but you see, when you do that, you can't retire gracefully. Look at today. Look, Jonathan. Good luck, Jonathan.
He's enjoying himself.
It's all over because they did him everywhere. Before him, Festus Mohai, who used to work on my coalition for Africa, Coda Borders chair. Festus Mohai.
Thabo Mbeki.
Exactly. All of these people guys are leaded everywhere. If you live as a Democrat, if you live as somebody who fostered change in your country, positive change, to democracy, I mean. You will live with a legacy that will allow you to continue being an international statesperson, not only a Gambian statesperson. But again...
You see, the former president of Botswana, the immediate former president, when the elections were held last year, the results started coming in. The minute he lost in his own constituency, he called the opposition leader to concede.
And that's the same thing happened in Senegal.
Senegal also.
In the year 2000 with Abdou Diouf.
Yeah. Abdou Diouf called.
When General Cissé, who was the Minister of Interior, General Cissé called him and said, Mr. President, we've lost the election. He said, are you sure about that? Yeah, I'm sure about it. The PS guys, his party, Socialist Party guys, were saying, no, we will manage this. They wanted to rig. They wanted to rig the election. Abdou Diouf didn't consult any of the people. Pick up the phone and called Abdoulaye Wade and congratulated him. Today, he lives as an elderly statesman, respected. He comes to Senegal when he wants. He lives in France because he said he didn't want to influence it. So he left the country, just like Senghor, to live abroad and let the new president run the country without interference. But anytime he comes to Senegal, he still receives as a statesman.
He is.
That is what democracy and the rule of law and compliance with those, that is what it does for you. That's what it does for you.
That Botswana president, Masisi, enjoys so much respect now. When he goes out on, he went back to his village, by the way. When he comes to town in Habaroni, crowds follow him. They're cheering him up. And I saw an interview, although the interview was done in the local Setswana, but there were subtitles. He was basically saying, I've done my turn. People apparently are not impressed by that. So I decided to step aside and give it to somebody who can do better than I have done.
Yeah, and you see, that's what's great about that country.
Simple.
President Festus Mogae of Botswana. I was sitting there was this conference by SADC, the Southern Africa Development Corporation community. They had their meeting, annual meeting in Habaroni, in Mulungushi, in Lusaka, Mulungushi Conference Center. And he was one of the presidents sitting there on the podium, and he said, well, enjoy my presence now, because next year I'll be sitting on the other side with the crowd. And people laughed. They said, oh yeah, they always say that. And he stepped down at the end of that year. And he's got so much respect. They were needing him. I mean, the US, for example, they were using him a lot for the Africa, the AIDS issue.
As a special envoy.
He was a special envoy everywhere, to a point he had to turn down a number of them. Because he did the right things, and he left. He got the Ibrahim Prize for $2 million. He's paid for $200,000 every year, and etc. And all the contracts and all the.
You know what?
You live as an honest man with a lot of respect.
Okay, I always talk about Botswana because they are impressive.
They are.
Mogae handed over to Jan Kama.
Jan Kama, yes.
Before his term ended. Jan Kama handed over to Masisi 18 months before his term ended. Masisi gets defeated. He hands over peacefully to the opposition. Exactly. That's what democracy is all about. The democratic credentials, that's how you build it. You don't hear of coup d'etats in Eastern and Southern Africa anymore. They're past that stage. They're past that stage. We are going back to that stage. We are going back to that stage. Because of lack of... because of the constitutional coup d'etats organized by heads of state in ECOWAS region. Lamin, we'll do the Mandinka Wolof local language versions next time around. I'm told our time is up. We need to say our goodbyes. Thank you very much, our viewers all over the world. We appreciate you giving us your time and allowing us to come into your living rooms to hear us talk about the issues, burning issues facing our country. Thank you very much. And I would just say, by way of goodbye, I would say, see you all this afternoon in Sukuta. Yes. Now the nationwide tour is in the Greater Banjul area. This evening will be in Sukuta from 4 p.m. until 9 p.m. in Sukuta. Tomorrow will be in KMC at the buffer zone. Tomorrow Friday, KMC buffer zone again from 4 to 9. On Saturday we'll be in Banjul. Same time 4 to 9 at Tobacco Road. And on Sunday we'll close the tour in Welingara, West Coast region. Same time, 4 to 9. So see everybody there, and I'm looking forward to another very big crowd and interesting discussions and testimonies at today's meeting and the rest of the tour.
Thank you all very much for your support.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.